Yo guys, I just bought and finished up my first apartment here in Abuja. This is supposed to be a house tour, and without wasting much of your time, welcome to my apartment, guys. Okay, so first things first, this is actually a 2-bedroom apartment, and I've had this place for 3 months now. I got it as a carcass, and by the way, the whole idea of actually getting this place was specifically from my mom, but then over the last 3 months, this is actually what I've been working on, and we're able to do a kind of good work, I would say. Getting this place as a carcass was actually a very good one for me because it allowed me to be able to do certain things to my taste, and if at all I'm going to get any other place or maybe invest in any other property, I would really love to go for having it as a carcass. Now, for those that are in Abuja, you should know a carcass is more or less like an incompleted building, so you get to finish it up yourself. Without wasting much of your time, here are some of the interesting things we're able to put together after about 3 months. Over here we have the Hisense 2 horsepower AC. Now, I had to go for Hisense because I've actually been a big fan of Hisense. I have the Hisense soundbar, I have the Hisense TV as my main TVs. Though because I do reviews, I do have other kinds of gadgets from different brands as well, but Hisense does the job very, very well for me, and this is actually very chill. Sometimes if it is here, you can't even stay around the sitting room area, but I really like it, and it is one of the things I think I got that it just does the work very well for me in the sitting room. Now, here we have this 7-seater couch. I really like the design of this couch, and the space is not so much. Actually, the design of this was supposed to attach to this other chair over here so that it just lines up, but this is not so much of a big space, so I had to just rearrange them this way. And I really like the design. I like the materials as well that were used for this particular couch. And in case you want to get something like this, I got this from TCJ Homes at Gwarimpa in Abuja, and they really do very, very good job. And this is not even like an advertisement for them. They do their job very well, and that is why I'm recommending them as well. However, I had to get the throw pillows from another Instagram vendor, and I really like the designs of these throw pillows. They do very, very well. You can see this, though I didn't know why they gave me this, because this is not supposed to be in this house. The blue is not supposed to work with the other colors I've had in this particular house, but the throw pillows are really nice, and I also got them at a very discount rate because I got other stuff from the Instagram vendor as well. Over here we have a little decor. I got this from an Instagram vendor. Now, I usually get my stuff from Instagram, particularly because here in Abuja I would say Lagos is somewhere that if you're looking for specific things, you're likely to get them. There are so many interior decorators around Abuja. However, you may not specifically find certain things except you go to Instagram, and then you have to find out that they're in Lagos. By the way, everything in this particular house was designed by me. I'm not an interior decorator. However, I think I did a good job because I've gotten a couple of comments, and in addition to that, a lot of people have commend my design as well. Moving further, at the center of the sitting room, we have this nice looking center table and some decor. I also got this from Instagram, by the way. Now, for the TV area, here I just have some really simple minimalistic design. Here is a vintage light I got from Instagram, specifically from Lagos as well. We have these flowers. I got these other flowers initially. They were really small, and then eventually I just had to change them because I wanted something as tall as the TV, because that is when it makes sense, so I had to change the flowers and then get these, and I think the flower vase is also really nice. Here I have an award from my university days. I don't like to have my awards in my consoles majority of the time, but my mom convinced me to have this one. I have about 3, and she wanted to just line them up here, but then it's not something I don't like it, honestly. Not because I am not proud of my own achievement, but I wouldn't want to just line them up just like that, you know. And then here I have my 55-inch Hisense TV. It was used in my previous apartment and I'm still using it here. I know it's very small, you know, and it's something that over time I would definitely have to change. But for the meantime, I think it's just serving, particularly because of how the whole TV console is. You know, here I have my soundbar. This is a diffuser, and then just some decorative item with my light over there as well. Now, before I go ahead to show you the rooms in this apartment, one of the most interesting things I like about this place is the motorized curtains or automatic curtains I have in the apartment. Now, these curtains are very heavy. By the way, curtains are actually very expensive, like very, very expensive. And then if you're now going for automated curtains like the one in the living room area, you're going to be spending a lot. They actually have their remotes here. I've not been able to pair them with one of these Alexa or Google Assistants, but then I do have the remotes here and I can actually easily pair them at any time I want. And basically with the remote, I'm just going to try to turn them on now. And if I press on the remote control button, it basically just opens up the curtain. So this is the one for this one. And if I press for this one as well, it basically just opens up the curtain. And this is usually my best part of this house, you know, because I just have to tap on a remote control and then the curtains are opening up. It gives luxury, you know. By the way, here we also have the dining area, and just directly opposite it, we have the kitchen area as well. So basically this is the kitchen, and it's really small, you know, but I like the design, and then I like the fact that I get almost everything in the kitchen. So over here, I have the refrigerator, I have my microwave, and then over here as well, I have my washing machine as well. Here we have an automatic sink, and it is also one of those smart things I bought for this particular house, you know, because it has buttons, or unlike the conventional sink. So here I have my lights. This is how the kitchen is. I also have the heat extractor as well. It's also a smart one. You can control it with your voice, and then we just have every other cooking accessories. Another reason I really love this apartment is the little space over here. So I was able to utilize it to just turn it into my studio, that is my work studio. But then aside from that, if I am going to be streaming in the future, this is also where I'm going to be streaming. By the way, this was actually the flower I got initially that didn't turn out well. You can see it's very small. I liked it actually because it has this, you know, face. That was specifically why I got it initially. But then over time, I really did not like this because it wasn't tall, but then it still does a very good job. Now, I really like this particular water dispenser. This has a lot of interesting features. It can boil your water. It can, I think it has both hot and cold, and then normal water as well. And then you also have the option, this is actually a screen and it is touch sensitive. So I can actually just touch this. If I want to get water, I can just touch this and it starts to give me water. That is quite interesting. And then if you want your water to cool, you can touch this. It also has voice control as well, which is something really, really interesting. And I can simply just say, hey Timmy, sorry, I think it is hi Timmy. Yeah, it's replying now. Hi Timmy. Cold water.
Okay, cold water coming.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, I just like stuff like these. Sometimes they do not make sense, you know, because I don't think this works without electricity. So if you're in Nigeria, you might just need a backup. You need constant electricity to be able to use this. Now let's quickly go over to the master's bedroom over here. Now this is actually one of the smallest space in this apartment, and I kind of manage my space here very, very well. Here we have this floating bed. I got it because it was cool having the floating bed, and this wardrobe is really large and I kind of like it. Now, it didn't turn out well initially, you know, because I felt like it was too much for the whole space. And then considering the fact that I had told them that we were trying to manage space, but at the same time, I really like how this turned out, you know, because I like the quality of the work. I like the fact that we have lights all over everywhere. And then here we just have this glass space with some of my gadgets, you know. Now my favorite part of my favorite room, which is this room, is this couch over here. Now this couch is really nice. It's a very high quality couch, and I got it from an Instagram vendor. Now you would think it is possible. Well, you can actually get stuff like this in Abuja. However, they are quite expensive here in Abuja. It's really nice. It's a swing chair, so I can actually just sit like so and, you know, just swing. Trust me, this is most likely the place I'm going to spend so much of my time in this apartment, particularly because I don't like to lie down while walking and I don't like to sit down. So this is just, you know, in the middle of lying down and sitting down. So it works absolutely well, you know. Then here we have curtains as well, but these curtains are not automated like that one in the sitting room area. Now over here we have the restroom. This is quite nice as well. It's quite simple actually. Just everything you would find in the restroom is over here. Now to the next room, which is usually called my mom's room. We just call it my mom's room, not like my mom is always here anyways. It is quite a simple one. Here we have the bed. So this is actually from my previous apartment. Majority of the stuffs in this particular place is from my previous apartment. So the bed and the bed frame were previously from my apartment. And then we have this couch over here. This is where I sat and then made probably all the videos on this channel so far. You know, it's been through a lot, you know, but then I just kept it here. We have our TV as well with a very small console. It's just small. Everything here is just quite small. And then we have the bathroom as well. This is where you on it. So here we have the bathroom, simple as well, with all of the amenities you would find on a normal bathroom as well. I also like the wardrobe that actually comes with this particular room. And if you look at it from over here, I like the fact that it just has this light at the center. This is my mom's room, like I said, so you're probably going to be finding nothing or just some few things from my mom here as well. Okay, so this is all for the house tour of my new apartment, and I also would encourage other YouTubers out there to keep pushing and then just keep doing what they know how to do, and hopefully they're just going to, you know, get that spike that they need, you know, and it's just going to work out pretty well for them as well.